Good afternoon, this is Quays News at 3 o'clock. I am Rhys Hanson.
And I'm Dan Walters. Our top stories today. Police appeal for the mother of a baby found in the park of Salford to come forward. They say specialist officers are ready to support her.
A campaign group, Save Regent Retail Park, hope to delay planning discussions for new high-rise apartments in Ordsall.
FC United of Manchester call on their fans to help raise money after missing out on their home fixtures.
And the festive season is well underway in Bury. They have been celebrating the start of winter with a lantern parade, live music and fire display.
But first, we start with our top story and the latest on the remains of a baby found in a park in Little Holton.
It's 2 days since the grim discovery was made by a dog walker at Cleggs Lane, Ashton's Field in Little Holton.
Police and forensic units were at the freezing scene to try and gather evidence to help them identify the body and work towards finding a cause of death.
In the last hour, Greater Manchester Police held a press conference. While they haven't released any new details, they have appealed for the mum of the baby to come forward.
Detective Chief Inspector Charlotte Wally told reporters a short time ago that police are standing by.
We know that this baby's mum is somewhere out there, potentially watching this, and we would appeal for anyone who may know the mum or had their suspicions about her pregnancy to come forward so we can find her and speak to her. We will do anything we can to help the mum. Trained officers are ready to support her, and no matter what the circumstances are, please contact us.
Next, campaign group Save Regent Retail Park, which has over 500 residents involved, have submitted a 32-page document to delay the planning discussions of new high-rise apartments in Ordsall.
Nick Leonard says she is working effortlessly to prevent the retail park from being demolished as a major investments company attempts to take over their ward.
Discussions have now been delayed until February from this month.
Our main concern is we lose the retail park, eventually we'll lose the estate. It's become an unstoppable march from Manchester City Centre outwards. Henley on their own website referred to the Regent Park as Regent Retail Park Manchester. It's been advertised as downtown living for Manchester at affordable prices. This isn't Manchester, this is Salford.
Have you ever tried to learn a new language but got stuck? The Manchester Language Exchange have come up with a way to get practicing languages outside of an app or a classroom. Our reporter Elena Towell has more information.
Learning languages and experiencing new cultures. At the Manchester Language Exchange, people swap words and wisdom, and host Mauro knows the importance of hearing new ideas.
For me, it's absolutely fundamental. I'm not really learning languages because I need for work or, for example, because I have a foreign partner. However, for me, it's a way to communicate. It's an important skill that develops your mind.
Every Thursday, up to 120 people turn up at Lock 91 in Deansgate. They wear stickers saying the languages that they speak and the ones that they are learning, and then they get talking to people in those languages, helping each other become more fluent. Michael is trying to learn Russian.
I've found it quite welcoming. More people have arrived since I've come here, and there's a wide variety of different languages.
People come for many different reasons, whether it be for work, because their partners speak a foreign language, to exercise their minds, or just for the fun of it. Steph speaks 4 different languages and has attended many different events like this.
Everything's like a snowball, so like when you start doing it and then you start to get confident, you start to meet people and you start to cook food and you start to meet people's families, like it all kind of builds from there, and it's just good vibes, so yeah, I'd really recommend it.
Elena Towell, Quays News, Manchester.
Thanks Elena, and now we're thrown over to Lily with our latest sport. Lily.
Thank you, Dan. Salford City host Bromley FC at the Peninsula Stadium for the first time this Saturday. It's a particularly special match day with UA 92 students supporting the runnings with the fixture takeover. Eccles Rugby Club were the target of goalpost vandalism earlier in the week. The discovery of bent and broken posts, expected to cost thousands to repair, has put the pitch out of action. And Tommy Fury has announced his return to boxing back on his home turf in Manchester Co-op Arena next year. He is set to challenge former UFC star Darren Till. FC United of Manchester are calling on their fans to help raise money. The club are aiming to raise £20,000 for their Missing Matches fundraiser. This is due to the FA Cup trophy clashing with their league home games. What you are seeing now is the team's first home game for over a month and a half. The club is 100% owned by its fans, which means they cannot call on the wealthy investor to make up for the missing funds.
Home games are our financial lifeblood there, and it's a big blow to us to not have those games. So missing matches is an appeal there, to our supporters to help back the club. We're a fan-owned club. It's down to the fans to make it a success. So it's a call out there for people to support the club financially, and come down to Broadhurst Park and watch live football for our future home games.
Salford Sport Club could be housing future Olympic stars. Salford Scorpions play flag football, a non-contact version of American football. It has been growing in popularity, even being named a sport in the next Olympic Games. Our reporter Ben Pearson went down to find the training ground to find out more.
Set! Come on, set!
A quick step back, the throw and the catch. Flag football is the non-contact alternative to what you would see in the NFL, offering fans of the sport a chance to play with far less risk of injury. Salford Scorpions was founded from this idea.
We're linked with a charity, and so through that we got some funding from the NHS, and that was and the school I worked at had a school field we could use. First session we had 11 guys turn up, and we still got some of them playing for us now. I'm not the only original, so there's 4 or 5 of us left. We started training every Wednesday night. We've trained every Wednesday night for just over 6 years.
Compared to American football, it's played with 5 players instead of the usual 11, on a pitch half the size.
In flag football, each player has one of these flags around their waist that, when tackled, simulates a real-life contact tackle, making that player out of the game.
And you don't need to wear pads and helmets, which allows teams and players to save thousands of pounds on equipment their contact version would otherwise have to pay, making flag football attractive to give a go.
I've been a fan of the NFL for quite a long time. My dad got me into it when I was little. As I grew up, there just kind of wasn't the same opportunities to get into it as there is now. It's grown a lot. The contact side is just a bit much for me, really. I don't think injury-wise I'll be able to cope with it. And then I just found the flag game through a couple of friends. It seemed like a good alternative, and it's been the best thing I've done, really.
Jade got inspired to join after she saw her son play in the Scorpions Cadets team, and she's not looked back since.
When I first started, I didn't play any games until I felt like I was ready. I just kept training, and there's no pressure on that. Everyone's really friendly, makes you really welcome, and I just don't feel like the odd one out being the only female.
The club believes that their players could have a chance to play for Team GB in the next Olympic Games.
Getting into the GB team is really, really competitive. It's hard. We've got some players who we think have the potential to do that, and as long as they keep working hard, there's no reason for them not to kind of push for that.
The team look ahead to what is to come next for this growing sport. Ben Pearson, Quays News, Salford.
Thanks, Lily. Now let's go to Kira with the entertainment news. And Kira, I understand it was a big night for Shock Radio at the Student Radio Awards, and in particular a big night for presenter Matt Holsworth.
Indeed it was. Matt Holsworth won 2 golds at the Student Radio Awards, one for Best Presenter and one for his chart show with Izzy Brands. The reward for that was Matt Holsworth now gets a show on Radio 1 and becomes one of the youngest Radio 1 presenters ever. In terms of the General Station Awards, Shock won bronze for Best Student Station, and network manager Alfie Mulcahy won silver for Best Newcomer.
And there was a surprise announcement about the Student Radio Conference next year, wasn't there?
Indeed there was. The Student Radio Conference is coming to Salford, and Shock Radio won it. It was a surprise and a 6-week secret that was kept from all Shock Radio members, but it's very exciting, and a lot of industry stars will now be making their way to Salford early next year.
So what is next for Shock then?
Shock hosts the Student Radio Chart Show on Sunday. Tom and Katie will host it, with me and Emma Nelson producing it, and hopefully it tops last year's gold-winning chart show.
Thank you, Kira. Is there anything else happening in the world of entertainment?
Indeed there is. A recent campaign from charity the Music Venue Trust is aiming to give local venues a glimmer of hope. Our Own Venues is a scheme that provides more long-term security by deeming them cultural venues. Michael Swan from the local jazz venue The Spinning Top spoke on this subject.
I think if you're an independent business,
it may be November,
you have to stand or die, really. You have to make it a success yourself. I mean, it would be good to get help, I'm sure, but I like the way that we're totally independent and we do it ourselves. I mean, the Music Venue Trust, I'm sure they have helped other venues, and they're certainly right in that they're struggling more and more. But that's the case for a lot of other businesses generally. That is modern life, I'm afraid.
It may be November, but Christmas is well underway in Bury.
The town centre was brought to life last week with lanterns, fire and live music.
Actors led a magical parade through all the hotspots of Bury, with the community following closely behind.
Our reporter, Lily May Cooper, tells us more.
Bury's annual Lantern Parade has officially kicked off the festive season. Celebration of light as days get darker. I spoke to David Agnew, Artistic Director at the Met, and organiser of this event, to find out just how special tonight is.
So it's become part of a tradition for families that we're really proud to have started. The families that come absolutely love it. There's nothing like it in Bury. And it's a really important part of their kind of start of the festive seasons. It's mid-November, but kind of with the darkness coming, it's quite nice to get out with a lantern and kind of celebrate the change of seasons.
School pupils have been creating the lanterns in preparation, with Engagement and Access Manager Steph Meskel-Brocken, who shared her hopes for the parade.
We've made almost 300 lanterns during the process, so we'd be super happy if we were able to get half of them being paraded. That would be amazing. It's fantastic when you're walking at the front of a parade to take a moment to turn around, look back and see the sea of lights that illuminate the town centre, and to see all the faces of people who've been involved in making those lanterns, able to hold and carry them and take over and feel really, really part of the environment that they're in.
The special thing about this event is that the participants have created lanterns, they've come along, and really it's their event, it's the community event. We've added some nice touches, some nice music, some bits of fire garden, and led the parade, but actually it's the participants who kind of feel it's their event, and they've come into Bury Town Centre and really felt belonged and part of the community here.
And Bury College students Sophie and Ariba share what they are most excited to see as the night unfolds.
Seeing the lanterns and the big owl.
This year's theme of flight exceeded expectations, with the strolling theatre and live music throughout.
I joined the Lantern Parade around Bury Town Centre, and the crowds ended up here, in Kay Gardens, to a mesmerising fire display and live music. The successes of the evening brought family and friends together to mingle and to share their excitement to celebrate the start of this year's festive season.
Well, it's been a wet and wintry week in Salford.
But is it going to stay that way? Zara is here with the weather.
Good afternoon. The weather has dropped drastically this week as we start off with a chillier morning of sunny intervals and light winds. At lunchtime, the weather began to creep up ever so slightly to 5 degrees with light rain and wind, followed by partly cloudy skylines for Salford today. As we go into the evening, temperature drops back down to 1 degree with partly cloudy skies and light gusts of wind. Heading into the weekend, temperatures begin to rise with a high of 13 degrees on Saturday and 15 degrees on Sunday. However, the Met Office have issued a weather warning for extreme rain and heavy snow on Saturday, followed by icy patches which may cause disruption and delay to travel. In the early hours of Saturday morning, we will see the start of heavy showers, which carries through the day, ending off to a drier evening. Moving into Sunday, a weather warning is continued as we expect more rain and moderate breeze. It is advised to take precaution and travel where necessary and prepare for the chance of flooding. We end the week off with wintry showers and a wet start to next week.
Thank you, Zara. Well, that is all we've got time for today. Goodbye.
Thanks for watching. Goodbye.